All information is gathered through Bulbapedia.com. Check them out, link is in the description. Hey everyone, it's CKGM, and welcome to my new series called the Pokedex, where I take a look at every single Pokemon that has ever been in any game, basically. If you want to know more about this series, go check out my new update video that I have. Link will be in the description, and wherever else I decide it will be. So, in this episode, we're going to be looking at Pokemon 1 through 30. I know it ends at Nido-Rina, but it's kind of just so it can be consistent. So I hope you understand, and without further ado, let's get started. Let's start the series off with the first ever Pokemon, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is a small, four-legged Pokemon that has blue-green skin with darker patches. It has red eyes with white pupils, pointed ear-like structures on the top of his head, and a short, blunt snout with a wide mouth. A pair of small pointed teeth are visible on its upper jaw when its mouth is open. Each of its thick legs end with 3 sharp claws. On its back is a green plant bulb which is grown from a seed there planted at birth. The bulb it provides with energy through photosynthesis as well as the nutrient-rich seeds contained within. Ivysaur is a four-legged Pokemon that has blue-green skin with darker patches. On the top of his head are pointed ears with back insides and its narrow red eyes. It has a short rounded snout with a wide mouth and 2 pointed teeth in its upper jaw. Each of its feet has 3 claws on them. The bulb on its back is bloomed into a large pink bud. A short brown trunk is surrounded by leafy green fronds supports the bud. Venusaur is a squat four-legged Pokemon with bumpy blue-green skin. It has 2 circular red eyes, a short blunt snout, and a wide mouth within its 2 pointed teeth in the upper jaw and 4 in the lower jaw. On top of its head are small pointed ears with reddish-pink insides. It has 3 clawed toes on each foot. The bud on its back is bloomed into a large pink white spotted flower. The flower is supported by a thick brown trunk surrounded by green fronds. A female Venusaur will have a seed in the center of its flower, which also brings me to Mega Venusaur, and you can Mega Evolve it with the Venusaurite. We'll move on to the next starter with Charmander. Charmander is a bipedal reptilian Pokemon with primarily orange body and blue eyes. Its underside from the chest down and soles with feet are cream colored. It has 2 small fangs visible in its upper jaw and 2 smaller fangs in its lower jaw. A fire burns at the tip of its Pokemon's slender tail and has blades there since Charmander's birth. The flame can be used as an indication of Charmander's health and mood, burning brightly when the Pokemon is strong, weakly when it's exhausted, wavering when it's happy, and blazing when it's enraged. It is said that Charmander dies if its flame goes out. However, if the Pokemon is healthy, the flame will continue to burn even if it's a bit wet and said to steam in the rain. Charmeleon is a bipedal reptilian Pokemon. It has dark red scales and a cream underside from the chest down. It has narrow blue eyes and a long snout with a slightly hooked tip. It has relatively long arms with 3 sharp claws. Its short legs have plantigrade feet with 3 claws and a cream-colored soles. The tip of its long, powerful tail has a flame burning on it. The temperature rises to unbearable levels if Charmeleon swings its tails. Charizard is a draconic bipedal Pokemon. It is primarily orange with a cream underside from the chest to the tip of its tail. It has a long neck, small blue eyes, slightly raised nostrils, and 2 horn-like structures protruding from the back of its rectangular head. There are 2 fangs visible in the upper jaw when the mouth is closed. 2 large wings with blue-green underside sprout from its back, and a horn-like appendage jet sprout from the 3rd joint of each wing. There is also 2 Mega forms that you can Mega Evolve with the Charizardite X and the Charizardite Y. It also has a Gigantamax form when you can Gigantamax it. Squirtle is a small Pokemon that resembles a light blue turtle. While it typically walks on 2 short legs, it has been shown to run on all 4s in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It has large purplish or reddish eyes and slightly hooked upper lip. Each of its hands and feet have 3 pointed digits. The end of its long tail curls inward, and its body is encased in a tough shell that forms and hardens after birth. The shell is brown on the top, pale yellow on the bottom, and thick white ridge between the 2 halves. Wartortle is a bipedal indigo Pokemon similar to a turtle. It has brown eyes, a dark blue streak on each cheek, and 2 sharp teeth protruding from its upper jaw. It has 3 clawed fingers and pointed toes. On each side of its head are feather-like ears covered in pale blue fur. A brown shell with a pale yellow underside encases its body. A thick white rim separates the upper and lower halves of the shell. An older Wartortle may have scars and algae growing on its shell. Poking out of the bottom of the shell is a thick wavy tail that also has light blue fur and cannot be fully withdrawn into its shell. Its tail fur will darken when it's aged. Its tail is a popular symbol of longevity and good luck, making this Pokemon popular with the elderly. Blastoise is a large bipedal turtle-like Pokemon. Its body is blue and mostly hidden by its tough brown shell. The shell has a cream-colored underside and a white ridge encircling its arms and separating the upper and lower halves. 2 powerfully white cannons reside in the top of its shell over its shoulders. These cannons can be extended or withdrawn. Blastoise's head has the triangular ears that are black on the inside, small brown eyes, and a cream-colored lower jaw. Its arms are thick and has 3 claws on each hand. Its feet have 3 claws on the front and 1 on the back. Poking out of the bottom of its shell is a stubby tail. You can also Mega Evolve Blastoise with the Blastoisite. Moving away from the starters, we have Caterpie, which is a Pokemon that resembles a green caterpillar with a yellow underside and a teardrop-shaped tail. There are yellow ring-shaped markings down the sides of its segmented body, which resembles its eyes and meant to scare off predators. Its most notable characteristic is the bright red antenna on its head, which releases a stench to repel predators. Despite these features and camouflage green foliage, Caterpie is often preyed on by flying-type Pokemon. Its 4 tiny feet are tipped with suction cups, permitting this Pokemon to scale most surfaces with minimal effort. Metapod is a Pokemon that resembles a green chrysalis. Its body is a crescent shape with several segments making up the lower point. The front of its shell resembles a face with heavy lidded eyes and sharply pointed nose. The back of its shell consists of several geometrically shaped portions and projections. Butterfree resembles a vaguely anthropomorphic butterfly with purple body. Unlike true insects, it only has 2 body segments and 4 light blue legs. The upper pair of legs resemble small, 3-fingered hands, while the lower pair resembles long, digitless feet. Butterfree has 2 black antennas, a light blue snout with 2 fangs underneath, and large red compound eyes. Its 2 pairs of wings are white with black ventation. 2 oval scales on a female Butterfree's lower wings are black, but they are white on male. You can also Gigantamax Butterfree with Gigantamaxing. Weedle is a larval Pokemon with a segmented body ranging in color from yellow to reddish brown. Each segment of its body is a spear. It has bulbous red nose on its face and 2 spherical feet on each body segment. The combination of red and yellow coloration creates a bright warning to predators that is poisonous. Weedle has a 2-inch venomous stinger on its head and barbed one on its tail. Weedle can retaliate against attackers and those who step on it with its strong toxin. It can distinguish its favorite kinds of leaves using its acute sense of smell. As a young bug Pokemon, its daily appetite of leaves matches its weight. Weedle can be found in temperate forests and usually hides in grass, bushes, and under the leaves it eats. Kakuna is a yellow cocoon-like Pokemon. Kakuna has a dome-shaped head and black triangular eyes. Its 2 scythe-like arms and they're in the middle of its body. When it comes close to evolving, its body gives off heat that makes it warm to the touch. Kakuna remains virtually immobile and waits for the evolution, often hanging from tree branches by long strands of silk. When attacked, however, it can extend its poison barbs. Kakuna nests in temperate forests and misty wooded areas. Occasionally, it will also nest at the mouths of tunnels and caves, as seen in Pokemon Snap. Beedrill mostly resembles a bipedal yellow wasp, however it only has 4 legs instead of 6 and lacks pigment pits. Beedrill's head is round with a slightly pointed mouth, large red eyes, and a black antenna with sharp bend in the middle. Its 4 legs are tipped with long stingers. It stands on its other 2 legs, which are long, segmented, and insectoid in shape. Beedrill has 2 pairs of round veined wings and other stinger on its yellow and black striped abdomen. It can also Mega Evolve with the Beedrillite. Pidgey is a small, plump-bodied avian Pokemon. It's primarily brown with cream-colored face, underside, and flight feathers. On top of its head is a short crest of 3 tufts. The center crest feathers are brown and the outer 2 tufts are cream-colored. Just under its crest are narrow brown eyes. Angular black markings extend from behind its eyes down its cheeks. It has a short, stubby beak and feet with 2 toes in front and 1 in the back. Both of the beak and feet are grayish-pink. It has a short brown tail made of 3 feathers. Pidgeotto is a raptor-like avian Pokemon. It's covered with brown feathers and has a cream-colored face, underside, and flight feathers. It has a crest of pinkish-red feathers on its head and back, angular markings behind its eyes. The plumage of its tail has an alternating red and yellow feathers with ragged tips. Its beak and legs are pink. 2 of its toes point forward while 1 points backwards. Additionally, it has powerful sharp talons that it uses to grasp prey. Pidgeot is an avian Pokemon with large wings, sharp talons, and a short hooked beak. Its glossy plumage is mostly brown with cream-colored underparts and flight feathers. Its head has a decorated crest that's nearly as long as its body. The center feathers of its crest are yellow, while the outer feathers are red. The fan-like feathers of its tail are red or brown. Its beak and legs are pink, and there are 3 forward-facing toes and 1 backward-facing toe on each foot. Behind each eye is an angular black marking. It can also Mega Evolve with the Pidgeotite. Rattata is a small quadruped rodent Pokemon. It has purple fur with cream-colored face, paws, and underbelly. It has narrow red eyes, rounded with ears and cream-colored insides, and a single whisker on each cheek. Its long tail is tightly curled at the end. Its most notable feature is its large teeth. Like most rodents, its teeth grow continuously throughout its life and must be worn down by gnawing. The female Rattata will have shorter whiskers and lighter fur. Rattata are non-native to Alola and arrived in cargo ships. The Rattata population in Alola was booming until Yungoos was imported as a keystone species. In order to avoid these new predators, Rattata altered its habits and moved to the urban areas, becoming nocturnal and formed large nests led by Raticate. The Alolan Rattata searches out for fresh food and smell ignore anything spoiled. It has even been known to sneak into people's homes to find food. Raticate is a large rodent Pokemon. Although it's often depicted on its hind legs, it is a quadruped. It is mostly tawny colored with a cream underside. It has narrow black eyes, ears with ragged edges and dark insides, and large incisors that grow consistently. There are 3 whiskers on each side of its face, which it uses to maintain balance. It has short arms with 3-fingered hands and webbed feet with 3 toes. The webbing on its feet allows it to swim. Its tail is long and scaly. A female will have shorter whiskers and lighter fur. In Alola, Radhika had become heavier and darker due to its urban environment and higher calorie diet. Its fur is mostly black with a brown leaf-shaped patch on its belly and brown inside its ears. Its hand, feet, cheeks, and tail are a whitish cream color. Its hands are much smaller. It has light puffy cheeks with 4 whiskers under its chin and 2 sprouting sideways at the top of each cheek. Spearow is the avian Pokemon that is very small. It has rough brown plumage on its head and 3 brown tail feathers. It has a narrow dark brown eyes with white pupils and a short hooked beak that is light pink. The feathers covering its wings are pinkish round and with lighter tips, and it has a beige underside with 2 thin horizontal stripes. Its light pink feet have 2 toes in front and 1 in the back. Black feathers cover its back. Fearow is a large, mostly brown avian Pokemon with a vulture neck and broad, powerful wings. It has a long, pointed pink beak and decorative red coxcomb on top of its head. Its narrow eyes have a very small pupils and do not appear to have colored irises. It has a shaggy feathers at the base of its neck and covering the upper portion of its wings. These feathers are cream colored, as are the tips of its flight feathers. Its sharp clawed talons are pink with 3 toes pointing forward and 1 pointing backward. Ekans is a purple serpentine Pokemon. Its eyes, underbelly, and thick stripe around its neck and rattle are yellow. Ekans has 3 pairs of black lines encircling its body, as well as another line that connects to each silk-pupiled eye and curves towards its nose. Its large mouth has a round pink tongue and no visible teeth. While painful, a newborn Ekans bite is not venomous. This Pokemon grows longer with age. Arbok is a serpentine Pokemon that resembles a cobra. It has narrow eyes and several sharp teeth. Just below its head is a large hood with a face-like pattern. This pattern has over 20 possible variations. The pattern typically has 2 red and yellow eye spots outlined in a wide black streak resembling upturned mouth, and a black V-shaped stripe above the eye spots. And now we move on to the series mascot, Pikachu. Pikachu is a short, chubby rodent Pokemon. It is covered in yellow fur with 2 horizontal brown stripes on its back. It has a small mouth, long pointed ears with black tips, and brown eyes. Each sheep is a red circle that contains a pouch for electricity storage. It has 2 forearms with 5 fingers on each paw, and its feet have 3 toes. At the base of its lightning bolt-shaped tail is a patch of brown fur. A female with a V-shaped notch at the end of its tail. While it looks at the top of a heart, it is classified as a quadruped, but has been known to stand and walk on its hind legs. Raichu is a bipedal, rodent-like Pokemon. Raichu is covered with a dark orange fur and a white belly. Its bifurcated ears are brown on the outside, yellow on the insides, and end in a distinctive curl. There is a circular yellow marking on each cheek where its electric sacs are, and it has a triangular dark brown nose. Its arms and feet have patches on the brown fur at the end, and its soles of its long feet are tanned with a circular orange pad in the center. On its back are 2 horizontal brown stripes. Its long thin tail has a lightning bolt-shaped end. This lightning bolt is chipped on females. In Alola, Raichu has a lighter coloring and more rounded features. Its eyes are blue with yellow half circles along the bottom. It has large yellow ears with an inner spiral towards the base and brown on the inside. These ears are thicker and less pointed than standard Raichu's ears. In addition to its white belly, Alolan Raichu has white markings on its paw and bright yellow lines between its digits. Sandshoo is a bipedal mammalian Pokemon, but runs on all 4s in the anime. Its brick pattern yellow hide is dry, tough, blends in the desert and sand, and protects its white soft underbelly and muzzle. Sandshoo has a blue almond-shaped eyes, a pointed snout, and triangular ears with white insides. Its tail is thick. It has 2 long claws on each foot and 3 sharp claws on its forepaws, which are used to burrow. In the Alola region, Sandshoo migrated to snowy mountains due to the volcanic activity near the desert areas. Its body is a light icy blue with cream-colored belly and muzzle. Thicker plates from a dome around its head and ears resemble an igloo's entrance. In adapting to the cold climate, its body became larger and heavier with a shell covering its inside. Sandslash is a bipedal, ground-dwelling Pokemon. Although Sandslash is usually bipedal, it can run on all 4s. Most of its underside is a light yellow with a white underbelly. It has a narrow muzzle, almond-shaped blue eyes, and a thick tail. Its back is mostly covered in sharp brown quills formed from its tough, dry hide. It has 2 large claws on its paws and feet. These claws are primarily weapons and used for slashing, but can also be used for burrowing. In the Alola region, Sandslash has an icy blue hide and quills covered in ice. These quills stand taller than a regular Sandslash's quills and resemble icicles. This Pokemon uses its hide for camouflage in the snow, while leaving only its spines exposed. Its body emits cold air while sharpens its quills. Its forepaws are larger than its counterpart, and its claws are longer, thinner, and hooked at the tips. Nidoran Female is a small, quadruped, rodent-like Pokemon. It has large spiny ears, oversized front teeth, red eyes, and a pair of whiskers on each cheek. It is light blue with several darker blue spots. There are 2 white claws on each of its paws. Its back is covered with small toxic spines and has small forehead horn. The poison secreted by its spines and its horn is extremely potent, and even a scratch from its horn or a drop of poison from its barbs can be deadly. However, this docile Pokemon only uses poison when it feels threatened. And finally, we have Nidorina. Nidorina is a quadruped light blue Pokemon with darker blue patches. It has red eyes, large, spiny ears, and has 2 pointed teeth protruding from its upper jaw. It possesses large poison spikes, which it retracts whenever it is with a group or resting in its burrow. Its paws have 3 claws each and is able to stand on its hind legs. The hind legs are longer and thicker than its forelegs. It has a stubby tail. This is a female-only species. The male counterpart is Nidorino. But that's going to do it for this episode, though, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. It was very fun to make, and I hope you guys do enjoy because I want to keep making these, and I want to go all the way to the Galar region and do all those Pokemon because it sounds really fun, you know? So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time.